Awesome. So first of all, thank you, Mike, for joining us. So kind of you to do this. I know that the classroom there is real excited, and I've got Quinn at home here with me, and I'm chasing my other little one around. But I know they're super geeked, and of course, thank you, ECDC Force, for always welcoming rugby into your classroom and introducing and sharing other sports with your children there.
We enjoy it. Thank you for helping us out. We appreciate it.
So is this pre-K, kindergarten? What is this age group?
These are all 4-year-olds.
4-year-olds.
Yep.
Nice. I have a 4-year-old daughter, Liana. She's upstairs. Oh, I see what you've got there. Is that Quinn? You've got this book, right? Is that what you have there? Yeah. Excellent. So how many of these 4-year-old kiddos have played rugby before? Has anyone out there played rugby before? No? Does anyone know what rugby is? No. Oh, yes. My man in the yellow shirt. What do we got? Tell me, what's rugby? Do you know? Okay, so you throw it and catch it. That's very true. What else? Yes, in the front with the gray shirt.
Wait.
Is it kind of like soccer?
It's kind of like soccer a little bit. Yeah, we can use our feet to kick the ball for sure. So in that regard, definitely like soccer. Any other ideas on what rugby might be?
What? Louder. So Brooks says he thinks it's kind of like Frisbee.
Yes, it's kind of like Frisbee in a sense of that there's teams and you have to throw the ball sometimes really far, kind of like a Frisbee to each other. So in that sense, you're kind of right. Yeah, it's very much a team sport like Frisbee. Yes, I love playing Frisbee, especially when I go down to the beach in the summertime. I love throwing the Frisbee around. It's so much fun.
Mike,
yeah, go ahead.
ECDC4 is one of our favorite classrooms there on the campus at Notre Dame. They get to introduce a number of sports to the children. Obviously, this year's been different with COVID,
right, of course.
We usually bring in members of the men's and women's rugby team and toss the ball around with them and introduce them to lineouts, and they usually get a kick out of it. But obviously,
that's great.
A little bit different, so it's cool to introduce the sport in this way to them.
Very cool. So wait, first question before we start to talk a little bit about rugby. What are some other sports that you all like and enjoy playing? What do we got right in the front with the purple shirt? How about that? Oh,
soccer.
Was that soccer? Yeah, excellent. That's a great one. What else?
Maggie?
Catch.
Catch is a good one.
Addie? Baseball. William? Football.
Ooh.
Beanbag toss.
That's a really good one.
Hazel? What? Volleyball. Jace? Soccer ball. Whitney? Basketball. Brooks? Tennis. Lucas? Bowling. This is Havener's favorite.
Ooh, yes, bowling.
Catching butterflies with a net.
It's a wonderful sport.
Yeah, you know.
So here's the thing. So you've mentioned some really fun sports, and when I was little, I used to love playing all of those different sports too. And then when I got older, I found out about rugby, and rugby is actually a combination of all of those different sports, which is really, really super cool. So if you take all of those different team sports and some of those activities with lots of hand-eye coordination and throwing things and catching things and kicking things and running and playing with friends, rugby brings all of that into one game. And I absolutely love it. And one of the biggest reasons why I love it is because no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, there's always a home for you on a rugby team. And that's one of the things that I find really, really special about our sport. And I think that Coach Hickey would probably agree with me, right? It's a really, really close-knit family. Everyone who plays rugby is really closely connected to everyone else. And after we play a game, we always end up actually even hanging out with the other team and chatting about the game and having fun with each other. And it's just such a unique game that I think it's such a cool combination of all those other things that you've talked about today. So what we want to do is I want to share the book with you and talk to you a little bit about what rugby is using the alphabet. How many of you know your alphabet? You all know your alphabet? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to need some of your help, I think, as we read this book, if that's okay. I'm going to need some help as we go. All right. So we're going to start with the first part, which is just R is for rugby. All right. But that's just the beginning. Okay. So just R is for rugby. So let's open it up and let's start going. And so we'll move to the first page, which is just a picture of a young student carrying books and getting ready to play rugby. And so we'll read this. R is for rugby, a gentleman's game. A schoolboy in England gave rugby its fame. This alphabet book will look at each letter to help understand the sport a bit better. So the game was actually discovered or created by a student in school, a lot like you, who was playing soccer and then decided to pick the soccer ball up and start running around with it. Do any of you do that on your own? Do any of you make up your own games as you go and you make up the rules and you just figure it out? Yeah, I do too, all the time. And that's what this person did. And now, 200 years later, there's millions of people all over the planet playing that game, which is really cool. So let's keep going. What's the first letter of the alphabet? What's the first letter of the alphabet? A. Okay, excellent. So here it is. So this is A for anthem. With hand over heart, it's a time to be proud. We all stand as one and together sing loud. Have any of you sang the national anthem before or heard the national anthem before? Or seen in a game when people sing the national anthem?
Yeah, we played it here in the classroom a couple times.
Ah, okay. All right. So most games these days, no matter what sport you play, start with some form of a national anthem in whatever country you're in. All right. So we start our book there. Okay, let's get to the next letter of the alphabet. What's this letter?
B.
B. Excellent. B. Ooh, some sign language too, I think. Is that sign language I see
Yeah.
somewhere in there?
We do sign language every day.
That's amazing. I'm really impressed with that. So B is for ball. The ball for this sport is an odd, funny shape. It is oval, not round. It resembles a grape. So it's not round like a soccer ball. It's got this weird, funny shape to it. What about the next letter? What's this one?
C.
C. So C is for cap. A cap is awarded when playing a test. It's small and embroidered with the national crest. So pretty cool when you get to play in a game. Sometimes you get these cool little caps, which are really, really pretty fun. I used to have one. I would have showed it to you, but I don't know where it went. Okay, this one here. D is for something called a drop goal. A difficult kick. The ball drops on its nose. It bounces back up and is struck with your toes. So again, here's that kicking thing, kind of like soccer. We can kick the ball. Super cool. We can score points like this. E is for 8. The base of the scrum, he wears number 8. He runs like a bull and tackles just great. So in rugby, this player right here, do you recognize that number? Looks a little bit like what? Like, you know that number? What's that number?
A.
Yeah, excellent. So this position is called number 8. Pretty funny, huh? It's a pretty easy way to remember your position. What position do you play? Oh, I wear number 8, so I play number 8. Okay. What's this letter? F. Amazing. F. F is for fly half. This number 10 is a jack of all trades. They can run, pass, or kick while they call all the plays. This player is pretty handy. This player is pretty handy. What about this letter? What are we on here? What's this one? G. I see some G's up there. So G is for grubber. It's a kick on the ground, quite tricky to catch as it bounces around. So when you kick the ball on the ground, because it's not round, it rolls a little bit funny. It's pretty tricky to catch. All right, this one, what letter is this? H. All right, so we're up to H. We're almost halfway. H. H is for hooker. In front of the pack without using hands, they hook the ball back as fast as they can. So again, we're using our feet. We're kicking the ball around with our feet. What about this letter? I. I is for inside center. One of two centers that work as a pair, patrolling the middle. So runners beware. So the centers work in the center of the field together usually. There's number 12 and 13. What about this one here? What letter is this? J. J. J is for jersey. Known for the stripes and also the collar. The patch on the chest is a symbol of honor. So remember we talked earlier about rugby families, right? And how close we are as a team. This is the team crest, this here. And it means so much to people when you put this on. What about this one? What letter is this? K. This looks pretty hot there, huh? Anybody know what is this? Anybody ever, what is this? Yeah, what is this? What is this place? Do you know?
The beach.
Ah, it might be the beach. That's right. And look what he did. They made some posts out of sticks. So you can play rugby anywhere. All right, so K is for kicker. Set the ball on a tee and take a step back. Line up the angle and give it a whack. Here's L. L is for line out, which Coach Hickey was talking about earlier. The ball is thrown in when it goes out of bounds. They lift the tall locks way up off the ground. So when the ball goes out of bounds, they throw it back in, but they lift people up in the air to try to catch it really high, which is pretty cool. I've never been lifted up though. What about this letter? Anyone know this letter? M. Excellent. M is for maul. In this type of play, ruggers stay on their feet, pushing together as opponents retreat. So this one's pretty interesting. Everyone stays up and they're all pushing together up the field. What about this letter? N. This is the number that I wear. N is for 9. The scrum half is the link between forwards and backs. They wear number 9 and start the attack. So this is the jersey number that I wore. I was a number 9. I was a scrum half. This is one of my favorite ones. This is one of the things that I love about rugby. What letter is this? Oh, we're getting through this. O is for offload. In the midst of a tackle at the end of a run, toss to a mate and continue the fun. So you could throw the ball while you're being tackled and continue playing. You don't have to stop. You just keep playing. I've always thought this picture was pretty silly. I've always thought this picture was very silly. Anybody know what letter this is? P is for prop. The numbers they wear are a 1 or a 3. Each giant prop is as big as a tree. So there's a little tiny referee looking up at these enormous props. They're so big, these players. These are big, big players usually. Q. Q is for quick tap, a penalty choice so the team can move quick. A tap with your foot will do just the trick. You can just kick the ball right off your foot, right back to yourself. You just kick it to yourself really quickly, and then you can run right away. That's a pretty cool move. This is a cool one. Anybody know that letter? That's R. We said earlier R is for rugby, but R is also for ruck. When a player goes down, they may seem to be stuck, but play does not stop. They instead form a ruck. So when someone goes down to the ground, everybody forms this thing called a ruck, and they try to win the ball back. Pretty fun. Looks a lot like this one. What letter is this? S. This is our squiggly S. S is for scrum. It's a synchronized push to compete for the ball. Crouch, bind, and set. Engage on this call. So synchronized, that means they're all pushing together. So all these different players on the purple team and all these different players on the green team, they're pushing together back and forth to try to win the ball once the scrum half rolls it in. All right, so that's a scrum. This is one of the ways we score points. What letter is this? Ooh, close. It's a little misleading because it does have a base to it, but this is a T. This is a T. T is for try. Cross over the line, touch the ball down to score. 5 points on the board, and hear the crowd roar. Do any of you know what a touchdown is? Maybe you know what a touchdown is in football? Yeah, a couple of you know what touchdown is. When you score in football, it's called a touchdown. That comes from rugby, because in rugby, you actually have to touch the ball down on the ground to score. But in football, they don't make you do that. You just have to get over the line to score. U is for up and under. This type of kick goes up very high, up and away. It soars in the sky. That's a really high kick. I mean, it looks like an airplane up there flying around. She kicked that ball really, really high. She must be a really good kicker. Must have some strong legs. V is for victory. No matter who wins, cheer, hip, hip, hooray. Opponents shake hands for a great game today. So they're all shaking hands after the game. No matter what happens, everyone's there just having a good time and having fun together. Here we go. This one, oh my gosh, she's running so fast. She looks like a blur. What letter is this?
W.
W. W is for wing. What's the fastest animal? Does anybody know the fastest animal?
William. You know, Jay?
Cheetah.
Yes, excellent. Fast as a cheetah. These wingers can fly, showing her speed, racing in for a try. So there she is. Look, when the artist drew it, she's running so fast. She's like making the paint melt. She's running so fast. Man, geez, I wish I was that fast. All right, this one. This is a trick play. This is called the X play. It's a bit of a trick play. The most basic play is an old-fashioned switch. One player will strike, but it's tough to tell which. So these two players are running, and the defense is very confused because they're running in two different directions that make the letter X. This one, uh-oh. What letter is this? Y, uh-oh. Sometimes a player does something unfair. Sin bin for 10 minutes alone in a chair. So Y is for yellow card. So sometimes people do things that are against the rules. Uh-oh. The referee, not happy. They'll have to come back to the game later. What about this letter? The last letter. What's this one? Z. Z is for zigzag. The fullback is quick. They will zig and then zag. They scurry around like a fast game of tag. Look at that, just bouncing all over the place, zigging and zagging. So R is for rugby, but it doesn't stop there. This wonderful sport is a game we should share. And that's it. That's all we've got. Yes. I have to say, thank you for helping me read that book. It really means so much to me that you helped me with all the letters, not only with knowing all the letters, but also the sign language for it. That was amazing. I'm so impressed. That was absolutely incredible. That was really, really fun.
Hey, Mike, we can't thank you enough. We obviously have a copy of the book there in the fours classroom, and we're going to bring the rest of the classrooms there a copy of it as well. So hopefully they'll be sharing your story for a long, long time.
Thanks, Coach. This was fantastic. Thank you for having me.
It was such a great tie-in because in the fall we study sports, and then in the spring we study authors and illustrators. So for them to get to see both a sportsman and an author in one go, it's just amazing. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. This was so fun. I love doing this stuff. I'm really glad that Coach Icky invited me to come in and share this with you.
Well, thank you so much. One more time, Forge. What do we say?
Thank you.
See ya, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Right, you too.
Have a great
Bye.
weekend, everybody.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye.